Okay, this is Spiral, not Spiral. It's your test, your second test review sheet. So let's just get this started. Make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so Mark spends 30% of his earnings on rent. If he gets $2,500 a month, how much does he spend on rent? General rule of thumb: if whenever you get a job, 30% is about the right amount that should go on rent. Nothing else, anything more than that, I think you're using way too much money on rent. So 30% is I guess, the acceptable amount. So 30%. So let me get. And I am. Here we go. It's a percent question. Let's set it up as a percent. So 100 goes here. Hard total. Percent goes on top. 30%. He gets $2,500 a month, and that goes down here. You try to find a relationship between 100 and 2,500, or up and down. In this case, up and down is no. So side to side is a yes. What times 100 is 2,500 times 25. So on top will be times 25. And 25 times 30 is $750. So out of the $2,500 Mark makes, $750 goes to rent, which is not that bad. Next one, a subway rat weighs 1,200 grams, and a house rat weighs 900 grams. How much heavier is a subway rat? Well, definitely much heavier. So let's just do this in grams. So 1,200 is a subway rat, 900 is the house rat. So you were to subtract this, 0, 0, a little borrowing over here. 12 minus 9 is 300 grams is how much heavier the subway rat is. But we don't want the answer in grams, we want the answer in kilograms. So on your reference sheet, you're going to go 1 kilogram, right? It's 1,000 grams. And over here, you're going to write kilograms on top and grams at the bottom. And you're going to put, 300 grams, which is the answer. We're going to change that into kilograms. Side to side, nothing, but up and down. How does 1,000 become 1? Let's divide by 1,000. And on this side, you're going to do the same, and you're going to divide 300. Divide by 1,000. Remember what that means? Okay, a shortcut is you can actually do that. Or you can just know that 300, there's a decimal right here, and you're moving that to the left, 3 over, which makes that 0.3 kilograms. Okay. Linda read 100 pages of her book, which represents 40% of her book. So let's set it up again. 40 goes here. She read 40 pages and says that's the same thing as 40%. So part total, the 100 pages is not the total number of pages in the book, but the part. Any relationship between 40 and 100? No. So let's reduce this. Let's divide this by, I don't know, divide by 2. It's 20. 100 divided by 2 is 50. So here's our new ratio here. 20 over 50. Now there's a relationship. Times 5. I'm going to multiply the bottom times 5. And 5 times 50 is 250. So the book has 250 pages, of which he read 100. 55% of what number is 66? So this is an is of question. Is of. So 55%, so that's okay. Oops, hang on. I gotta pause this because there's something cooking. I need to pause. Yep, it's smart. It's okay. So where were we? Is of, so 55% goes on top. And what of, okay, 55% is one part. Of what number is what's going to be empty? Is 66. Goes like here. So up and down, nothing. So we gotta reduce this. Let's divide this by. This is not gonna work. If I divide this by 5, I get 11. If I divide this by 5, I get 20. Oh, it's going to work. 11 to 66 is times 6. So 20 times 6, it's gonna be 120. Sorry. Of what number? 120 is of again what percent? What percent? So that's the question. What percent? So that's going to be empty over here. Of 45 here is 18 on top here. 100. I'm going to go this way. Up and down. 18 times anything is 45. No, no relationship. 45 to 100, side to side. No. Let's reduce this. Let's divide this by not 2, not 3. Let's by 9. 18 divided by 9 is 2. And 45 divided by 9 is 5. So we're going to use 2/5. No longer will we use 18 over 45. Times 20. Times 20. And 2 times 20 is 40. And there's our answer, 40%. Okay. Now, as you're working on this, hopefully you did work on this before you actually look at the video. If you're doing okay, you'll be fine on Friday. The ratio of books to magazines, 14 to 26. What percent of the reading materials are books? So let's see. I want to see what percent. Right. So obviously the top here is empty. Part. We're talking about the books. What percent of the whole reading materials books? So how many books do I have? I have 14. What's the total? Well, the total is not 26. The total is all the books and all the magazines added together. That will give me the reading materials. So 4 plus 6 is 0. 10 goes 1, 40. So there are 40 reading materials, of which 14 are books, 26 are magazines. Okay, so the total is 40. Up and down, any relationship? No. 40 to 100? Also no. So let's simplify this. 14, I'm going to divide that by 7. 14 divided by 7 is 2. No, I'm not going to divide it by 7. Sorry. Let me go back because that's not going to work. I can't divide 40 by 7. I'm going to divide 14 by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 40 divided by 2 is 20. Yes, there is now. Times 5. And on top, I'm going to go times 5, which gives us 35. So, out of the 40 books, there's 40 items, 40 reading materials. 35% of them are books. That's another way of saying things. Okay. Kim can type 50 words in 6 minutes. Okay, good. So 50 words. Let me write that as a fraction. 6 minutes. And how much can she type in 15 minutes? Okay. Well, let's see. Up and down, no relationship. Side to side, also no. So I can either find a unit rate, okay, or I can see if I can simplify this. Let's do the simplification first. Let's divide 50 by 2. 50 divided by 2 is 25. 25 words. And 6 divided by 2 is 3 minutes. So you can say 50 words in 6 minutes, or 25 words in 3 minutes, means the same thing. Now, is there a relationship? Yes, the 3 to the 5 is times 5. 3 to the 15 is times 5, and then on top it's going to be times 5. 25 times 5 is 125. So, she can type 125 words in 15 minutes. Okay, so if at first your first ratio doesn't, ratio doesn't give you anything, simplify it. See if by simplifying you find a relationship with the other one. A hallway measures, oh, I didn't do this. Uh-oh. So let's just make this, and I will change it eventually. Let's make this, I don't know, just for sake of argument. $30 feet. Okay. Linda says the measurement in yard is 20 yards. Okay. Is she correct? Well, 1 foot, 1 yard, I'm sure saying, is 30 feet. So what's 30 feet in yards? No. Sorry, I don't know. Sorry. 1 yard is 3 feet. What am I doing? Okay. So if you have 30 feet, so feet on here, and yard on top, let's set up on the other side. Remember the measurements side to side have to be the same. So 1 yard is 30 feet. I know that. So if if I have 30 feet, how many yards would that be? That'd be 10 yards. Which, I don't know why I did this, because I want the answer in feet. So, is 20 yards the same thing as 30 feet? No. How much was she off? She was off by 10 yards. Right? Let me change this 20 yards. What's 20 yards? 1 yard is 3 feet. And 20 yards would be how many feet? Side to side times 20. So times 20, 60 feet. 20 yards is the same thing as 60 feet. She said that it was 30. She was off by 30 because this is how much it came out to be. Okay. This is what 20 yards is, 60 feet. So she was nowhere close. Her guess was completely wrong. Okay. So she overshot by 30 feet. Takes Peter the turtle 10 minutes to run 3 miles. It's a fast turtle. Really fast. How many miles can she run in 3.5 hours? So hours. Okay, so 10 minutes. She ran 3 miles. Really fast turtle. Minutes on top, miles at the bottom. And we got to change this 3.5 hours into minutes. Make sure your units are all the same. So 1 hour is 60 minutes, another hour is 60 minutes, second hour, third hour is 60 minutes, and then a half is 30 minutes. So this is what 3.5 hours looks like. Let's add it up. 0, 6, 12, 18, 210. So 3.5 hours is the same thing as 210 minutes, which I can then use over here. 10 to 21 to 210 is times 21. I multiply it times 21 at the bottom, and that gives us 63 miles. So in 210 minutes, that turtle could run 63 miles. Like I said, really fast turtle. So the main thing in this question was to change the hours into minutes, okay? Because when you're setting your proportion, the units have to be the same. Minutes, minutes, miles and bottom, miles and miles. In this case, you had miles and minutes and hours. You had to change the hours into minutes. Paulo spends 40% of his weekly work time on customer service calls. If he spends 24 hours on customer service calls, how many hours does he work weekly? Okay, well, let's set it up. So 100%. 40 is at the bottom. 40% of whatever he does, 40% of the time that he spends at work is on the phone with customer service, his customers. 40% is 24 hours. That's what he says. So 24 hours out of his week he spends talking to customers. So we want to find out here, what's the total number of hours that he works. Relationship here, none so far. So let's reduce 40 over 100. Let's see, divided by, what can I do? Let's divide that by 10. 40 divided by 10 will give me 4. And 100 divided by 10 will give me 10. This crosses out because I'm no longer going to use it. Is there now a relationship between 4 and 24? Yes, there is. Times 6. At the bottom is times 6. Giving you 60. So, wow, it's a long week, working week, probably Monday through Saturday. He works 60 hours a week, of which 24 hours are spent on customer service calls. Next one. In a class of 90 students, 10 are Canadian, half are French. How many are neither Canadian or French? So, 10% are Canadian. Half, again, means 50%, right? And 50% are French. Which leaves me, well, 10 plus 50 is 60, right? So it leaves me with 40% that I don't know. I don't know where they're from. I don't know who they are. Well, I don't know where they're from. So, what is the question asking? The question is asking how many people out of the 90 are what? Canadian? No. French? No. They're asking about the 40% that we don't know where they come from. So this is the people we care about. So let's set it up. 100%. There are 90 people, and I care about the 40%. I want to know how much is 40% of 90. Is there a relationship between these two? No, but can I make it so? Yes, I'm going to divide this by 10. I'm going to get 4. I divide this by 10. I'm going to get 10. Cross this out because I'm not going to use it. 10 to 90 times 9. And then on top it's going to be times 9. 4 times 9 is 36. So the 36 represents the 40%. So 36 people are not Canadian and they're not French. You could have done it this way. You could have done 60% and then find how many are Canadian and French and then subtract it from 90. Completely fine too. Okay, so you had options here. In the surveys of 800 students, 35 like science, 35 like English, 35% I should say, 5% only, oh, that hurts, like math, and 25% like social studies. How many do not like English? How many people don't like English? Well, these people don't like English. They like science. These people don't like English. And these people don't like English. So the people who don't like English is the 35% of science plus the 5% of math and the 25% of social studies. Let's add those up. 5, 5, and 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3, 4, 5, 6. So 65% don't like English because they like science, math, and social studies. So let's find out what does that translate in terms of numbers. So here's 100%. Here's the 65% that don't like English. Here's the 800 students. And let's see what that's translate. What does that translate to? Oh, this is easy. Sometimes I wonder why I make these questions. Times 8. Times 8. Too easy. 8 times 5 is 40. Carry the 4. 8 times 6 is 48. Plus 4, 520. So a total of 520 students do not like English. Okay, they like science, math, and social studies. Okay, so a group of them like science, 5% of those 520 like math, and then the 25% like social studies. Okay, put the following in order from least to greatest. Least to greatest. Okay, so again here, if you have an open question like this, make sure that you either change everybody to centimeters or everybody to meters. It's your choice. And here we have 2 of each. So actually we have, 3 in meters and 2 in centimeters. So let me change, because there's less of these. I want to change 210 centimeters to meters and 122 centimeters to meters as well. So I know that 1 meter is 100 centimeters. And meter, centimeter. And I want to change, let's do the first one, 210. That's 210 in meters. Side to side, not much, but up and down. How does 100 become 1? Divided by 100. I'm going to take this side and divide it by 100. And 210 divided by 100 is going to be 0.21. Remember, we're moving the decimal 3 over. So if you are using a calculator for this question, you're going to go 210 divided by 100, and you're going to get 0.21. Okay, so 210, no, am I doing wrong? By 100, sorry, you're moving the decimal 2 places over. I swept at 1 last night, so my apologies. So it's divided by 100. Sorry, I thought it was by 1,000. By 100, so you're moving the decimal only 2 spaces over. Okay, to the left, you're going to get 2.1. So sorry. So 210 centimeters is 2.1 centimeters. 2.1 meters. I'll take a nap. All right, and then 122 centimeters, you're going to do the same thing, and again, you're going to divide by 100. So 122 centimeters is going to eventually become 1.2 meters. Now that everybody is on the same unit, meters, 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 we can order this from least to greatest. So the least one would be 0.87 meters, not even a meter. That's number 1, cross. Second one, 0.93 meters. Third one would be meters. This one, the 1 meter one, that's 1 meter. Fourth one would just be the 1.2 meters. And finally, obviously, the biggest one would be 2.1 meters. And that's your numbers in order from least to greatest. What percent of the following letters in the word, what percent of the following words in the word approximately are consonants? Well, let's see how many letters there are first of all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There are 13 letters. And consonants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 13 are 8 out of 13 are consonants. So you can think about it that way. You can think about a quiz that you took and you got 8 out of 13 correct. How would you change this from fraction to 8%? So there are two ways. You can set this like this and find a relationship and all that. But let's do what we did the other day in class, just not too long ago. We change a fraction to a decimal, and you're going to take this and you're going to divide 8 divided by 13. Because you're most likely going to have a calculator on this test. Notice I said most likely. You're going to take 8 by 13. Can 13 go into 8? No. Add a decimal, you add a 0. Can 13 go into 80? Yes, it can. 13 goes to 8 times 5. No, times 7. 13 times 7. No, it's going to be 5 times, which is 65. You're going to subtract, blah, blah. You get 15 left over. Bring a 0 down. 13 goes into 150. I'm going to say times 9. And I did this wrong because instead of 5, it should have been 6 here. Okay, so 6, 13 goes to 80 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18, goes 178, much better. Left over is 2, subtract, bring another 0 down. And 13 goes to 20, 1 time. 7 left over, bring another 0 down. And 13 goes into 7, well, definitely not 6, but 5 times. So 0.615, or if you did round it, 0.62. And how do I change this to a percent? You move the decimal 2 over to the right, and it becomes 62%. Okay, so that's that. So to change a fraction to percent, make sure that you divide. You can divide, find the decimal equivalent, and then move the decimal 2 over to the right, or multiply it by 100. Your choice. Is that the last question? Yeah, it is. Okay, so that wasn't that bad. So hopefully you're gauging how you're doing on these questions, and if you're doing okay on all of them, you should be really, really good on Friday. Okay, and that's that.